My name is Jamila and I'm going to talk about the transformation of the society during the globalization. First, I'm going to talk about some important events. The first was the World Wide Web launches and the information age arrives. While the system of interlinked hypertext documents began to be developed via the Internet in 1989. It wasn't until 1990 and 1991 when the project had its first test runs and was fully publicized that it changed the world as we know it. This is the most important aspect in the 90s was quietly ushered in, leading to the creation of all things digital: Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Whisper, and other platforms that keep us connected. The second one is the Rodney King verdict, and LA roots tear the nation apart. After decades of race issues being pushed aside, the videotape beating of an African American man named Rodney King by a police officer in Los Angeles and the subsequent trial where those officers were found innocent ignite to just riots in LA and across America, but new passionate conversation and consideration about race in the United States. The third one is the World Trade Center and Oklahoma City bombing cement terrorism in the national consciousness. A new trend that thrust itself into the 90s new scene came in the form of random terrorist attacks against Americans, with the first World Trade Center bombing by a handful of Muslim radicals in February 1993. The precedent for terror was set. This was made worse with the Oklahoma City bombing on April 19, 1995, as it was caused by Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols, two Americans. Yet these events seem to only be precursors to the terror and challenges to come in the 21st century. The fourth one is about Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, that smooth-talking governor from Arkansas who came to power with the election of '92, embodied the modern American politician. The number five is Newt Gingrich redefines the American right. Hate him or love him, Newt Gingrich redefined everything about the new American right in the 90s, as George H. W. Bush lost re-election and the Reagan days became a thing of the past. Gingrich used his position as Speaker of the House from 1995 until 1999 to work against and with President Clinton, ultimately enacting welfare reform, helping to create the first balanced federal budget since 1969 and becoming Time magazine's Man of the Year in 1995. The last one is about rap music, and the new hip-hop sparks debates over race, class and censorship. The rap music scene had built up to a crescendo by the end of the 80s, and in the 90s it blew up, causing not only inner-city youths to have rap playing on their Walkmans but suburban youths too. And now I'm going to mention some concepts that are very important for the globalization. But first, what is globalization? Globalization is the growing interdependence of the world's economies, cultures, and populations, brought about by cross-border trade in goods and services, technology, and flows of investment, people, and information. The terrorism is, in the broadest sense, the use of intentional violence generally against civilians for political purposes. It is used in this regard primarily to refer to violence during peacetime or in contexts of war against non-combatants, mostly civilians and neutral military personnel. The unipolar world. The unipolar world essentially is a scenario where most of the world region's economic, social, cultural aspects are influenced by a single state country. So if a single country wants to be in that position where it can virtually control other countries, that scenario is a unipolar world. Digital era is a period where a shift process occurs from industrial-based to an information-based economy using computer or other technology devices as medium or communication. Now I'm going to answer some questions that will help us to understand more this topic. Why did the globalization emerge? The emergence of globalization was introduced to promote inherent wealth among all countries in the world. The United States has notably been identified as the leader in globalization after World War II. In the 19th century, most countries started investing in new forms of transport and communication services. In most cases, what caused the terrorist attacks of the 20th century? Political. Terrorism was originally theorized in the context of insurgency and guerrilla warfare, a form of organized political violence by a non-state army or group. Religious. In the 1990s, several attacks carried out in the name of religion made headlines. How does the end of the Cold War relate with the unipolar world? The bipolar Cold War world has given way not to multipolarity but to unipolarity, with the US as the only pole left. How has the digital era influenced today's society? Half of us believe that the increased use of digital media has improved our lives. According to recent World Economic Forum research, from social networking to how we work, digital media is now integrated in much of what we do, improving our productivity and facilitating how we interact and communicate.